the GAA timekeeping system. My idea, the one that I've banged on if you watched pretty much any episode of Play on GAA ever, is that I believe that the men should introduce what the ladies have in their game, which is the countdown clock. I think, number one, the benefits. Number one, it takes it out of the referee's hands. The referee doesn't need to worry about how many minutes am I going to add on here. Then we wouldn't have any confusion about how much time should be played because it's the clock and the clock decides how much time there is left. It's a robot. No one can argue with, what. Once the clock is being stopped, 70 minutes gets played. That's it. I think on top of that, you would see way less time-wasting tactics happening. You would see way less people trying to mess with free kicks, way less stupid, pointless substitutions going on. Who knows? We might not even have a replay coming up between Waddy Grandstand and Kilmacud Crokes. Like things like that, like stupid time-wasting things would not be happening as often if the clock was just stopped every time the ball went out of play. In my opinion, my idea is to have a clock that is counting down and it stops every time that the ball goes out of play. And then once it runs out of time, a hooter goes around the stadium. A big hooter, just like it does in the rugby and just like it does in the ladies Gaelic football. It goes around the stadium, the game's over, and then, so that hooter, the only little change I would make is that hooter would not actually be the end of the game. That hooter would be a signal that it is the last play. Just like in rugby, the next time the ball goes out of play, that's it. So you see in rugby when they have their scrums and then it gets turned over and the player kicks it out of play, that's it, the game's over. Because I think nobody can have any arguments with that. What are the benefits? I think, as I mentioned, takes it out of the referee's hands. He doesn't need to worry about timekeeping. How many times have we seen 3 minutes of additional time added on when realistically there should be 8 minutes of additional time added on? How many times have we seen controversy about how much extra added time was played? For example, Dublin Monaghan in the league in 2020 when the ref signalled 4 minutes of additional time and ended up playing 9 minutes of additional time. On top of that, there would be potentially huge and epic drama at the end of the game. Can you imagine if in an All-Ireland final, the hooter went and one team and the two teams were level and the hooter went and it was the last play of the game and you knew someone was going to take a shot to win the All-Ireland from open play? That would be unbelievable drama. And on top of that, could be iconic moments in the last 10 seconds if the whole crowd is counting down to victory. Can you remember Meath Dublin in the 2021 All-Ireland final when Meath had realised that they were winning, they were going to do it. In the last 10 seconds, they were hand passing the ball around and they knew they'd done it, and then they kicked the ball out of play when the hooter went and it was all over. That's iconic. To me, this would be way better than what we've got right now.
Exactly. So, and another one I wanted to add as well, we seen in the Soccer World Cup recently as well, they introduced this thing where they integrated into the additional time all the time wasting, basically. Like in some games you have 11 minutes additional time and you're thinking, where does that come from? But I was confused at the start, how is this being computed and stuff like that, and then FIFA revealed afterwards that they counted time wasting, substitutes, everything, basically. When the ball was out of play, everything. And I think that was brilliant. We don't usually credit soccer in that kind of way, but I think that was brilliant. The rugby as well and ladies football. I think someone actually mentioned this in the past. That's taking for 3 different sports. I think they're the right things to do, but maybe the GAA just has too much pride to not take examples. It does, yeah. When you think about ladies football in so many ways, I think Gaelic football, I think, is probably better quality, in all honesty, but ladies football is run better when you think about it. It has live streaming for every game, which is brilliant to see. The timing, which you mentioned there, absolutely brilliant. The match programs very rarely change, and you get a Microsoft Excel sheet of every team as well in ladies football. So I think it's a brilliant sport.
And the
whole structures, championship structures as well. You have to, the GAA have to bite their tongue at some point and think, this is the way to go. This is the way to go. What ladies football is doing at the moment is brilliant. It's brilliant for competition. It's brilliant for fairness. It's brilliant for think of journalists as well. I think it's brilliant what the ladies football are doing. The timing, like this is a big one with the timing. Like we've seen so many times where I think it was Armagh Mayo. I think a few seasons ago, 2019 qualifiers, where Armagh thought they had more time. Basically, they've more time to get a point or something like that. I think Cork and Mayo 2014, there was an
Sure,
instance
sorry
where
to cut across. Do you remember Kerry Mayo in the league last year? And Mayo were on the attack, and they just passed the ball around and didn't attack. And then the referee just blew them up and just said, nah, the half is over. I've decided. Like, can you imagine if Mayo could look up at the clock and know we've got 15 seconds here? We have to move the ball quickly. We have to take the shot. Like, or if the hooter went and they had one more play to shoot, there would be no guessing game. It's so obvious to me. A countdown clock where the hooter goes and then it's the last play. It takes it out of the referee's hands. He can focus just on refereeing the game, and it would bring so much more drama and iconic moments to the game. Like the buzzer beaters in basketball, like the last minute shots, they would be in the GAA now too. Who wouldn't want that?
Exactly. So, and another example, which is a key example for this, I think, not take your shot on Derry Donegal. Do you remember that in 2021?
Yes.
Where Derry didn't take the shot, they were just passing it around. You were thinking, just take the shot, lads. And the ref eventually blew it up, saying, that's enough, lads. You had your chance. And imagine if, taking that example for the Mayo Kerry game, imagine if Derry looked at the clock, thinking 15 seconds, we have to get to Shane McGuigan or Emmett Bradley or Conor Glass here and kick the ball over the bar. I think if Derry had that with them, I think they would have kicked it. I think honestly, there's so much bending of the rules with the time. Like the referee, you don't know how much time he's going to add in a particular attack. So Derry clearly thought they had more time. So that's a big thing. And another thing I was going to mention as well, Cork and Mayo in 2014, Cork were 2 points down, 2 points down in All Ireland quarter final. Colm O'Neill was as close to the penalty box as he could get for a free. He asked the referee how much time is left, and he said, "Oh, we'll get another kick out going here." So Colm O'Neill kicks the ball over the bar. Mayo then takes the kick out. The referee blows the whistle. So, I mean, there's so much bending with the rules, with timing and issues and all that. We've had so many examples, and I think it's time for the GAA to bite their tongue. Whether you follow Rugby's example, I think, I know I've gone on about LGFA, but Rugby's absolutely brilliant. Six Nations starting tomorrow as well. You have one attack, you have one chance, make it count. Sometimes I think Rugby does it overboard though, because if there's a penalty kick or something like that, the team could still go on and get the attack. It's only when a scrum is called or the ball goes out of play that the referee blows the whistle then. So maybe it goes overboard at times, whereas LGFA just blows it right at the dot. And that's a big thing. Yeah, I think the GAA needs to follow one of them rules from soccer, rugby, soccer for the World Cup. I don't think it's been integrated to the Premier League yet. Rugby and LGFA. Either of them three will be okay, but the GAA has to do something about this timing issue because it's been dominating, controversies for way too long now in the GAA.